Our next presentation is from David Valerga with CalPERS Voya, again, a deferred compensation plan offered by the County of Mendocino to county employees. Welcome, David, and thank you so much for participating today. And I'll go ahead and just turn it over to you and let you get started.
Excellent. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. And let me go ahead and pull up. All right. So let's talk about bridging the gap for retirement. All right. So everyone, let's talk about bridging the gap. And when we talk about bridging the gap, we're talking about creating retirement income. So this is my contact information. At the end of the presentation will be there as well. Email address, phone number. Real quick, when we talk about doing webinars, we always walk through the disclosure statements here, and this really isn't a solicitation to offer, sell, or buy a security, or even recommend a security. And prior to starting an investment, always look into talking to an accountant, a tax provider, maybe even an investment representative or advisor. The second bullet point we're talking about, when we get to returns within the slides in the presentation, these are based on historical returns and they're not a guarantee of future returns. So keep that in mind. And then down at the bottom, we have CalPERS is not a member of the Voya family of companies. So what this means is CalPERS contracts with Voya to administer their program. Voya is an insurance company. I work for Voya, but everything I do is the CalPERS 457 program. Okay. How much will you need in retirement? This is always the magic question. Industry experts recommend 80% of your current income in retirement, and why they recommend 80% is, the goal is to not change your lifestyle in retirement. You want to keep the same lifestyle by producing 80% of your income in retirement through retirement sources. You're able to achieve that goal. So in order to achieve the goal, roughly, how do we do this? What are the components that we could look at? One of the key components, and you've been through the presentation already today, is your MSERA benefit, where with this benefit, it's a great benefit, it's a pension. There's multiple factors that define the benefit plan. All three of those bullet points are shown there. And then there's a real basic example of if you're at 2% at age 62, what you could be looking at in retirement. Down at the bottom, the example shows 25 years of service, 2% being your multiplying factor, roughly 50% of income in retirement. This is a large chunk and can be a large chunk of your retirement. Now, when we talk about the pension, I always refer everybody to MSERA. They're your experts. Utilize them. They're happy to talk to you about the pension, run estimates for you, and keep you well informed. Now, when we talk about bridging the gap in retirement, if you're going to make 50% of your income in retirement through the pension, how do we get that other 30%? Are we looking at Social Security? Are we looking at outside investments? Are you somebody that's going to have to possibly work part-time? Down at the bottom, the last component would be defined contribution plans. That would be called or considered deferred comp or the 457 program. So when we talk about deferred comp, 457, those terms are synonymous with each other. All right, so 3 plan features. So pre-tax contributions. This is the traditional tax deferral. You're not paying tax now, you're pushing that down the road. The benefit being you're reducing your income now. These are contributions to your 457 account. So you're reducing your contributions now, and then in the future, when you take the money out, the theory would be you're making less money in retirement, therefore paying less tax at that point in time. Wild card becomes, what are the tax implications in the future? And that's where we come up with the Roth contribution. So, you know, with the Roth contribution, I know some of this might be overlap. I'm going to hit it real quick from the prior presentation. These are after tax contributions. You're not adjusting your gross income at this point in time. So if you're putting $100 per pay period into your account on an after-tax basis, you will see your take-home pay change by $100. If you're contributing on a pre-tax basis, that $100, you might be looking at $65 to $70 as a reduction in your overall take-home pay. So with the Roth component, you get the tax, well, let me back up, you get the tax deferred growth. And then again, these were brought up in the questions. I know they were hit in the other, they were mentioned in the other presentation as well. But these are the three key components. Trying to do a check mark here, it didn't work very well. But with these components, to get the full benefit, you have to separate from service. You can go work somewhere else. You just need to separate from service from the County of Mendocino. You have to be at least age 59 and a half, and you have to have had this Roth account for 5 years. So if you meet those three, and I call them the milestones, those three milestones, then at that point, you receive the full benefit at the withdrawal of not being taxed on the gains in the account. You've already paid tax on the contributions going in. That full benefit would be gains on, or no tax on the gains coming out. So here's a side-by-side comparison, the traditional versus the Roth. Let's look at, so money going in the first line now, we're showing traditional, no taxes on contributions. You're paying that tax later, keep that in mind. On the Roth, you're paying the tax now on those contributions. Later down the road, it's taxed as ordinary income on the traditional side. Later down the road on the Roth side, tax-free, as long as you meet those three milestones that I just mentioned. So you're not you're reducing your taxable adjusted gross income with the traditional contribution pre-tax, and then again Roth subject to the income tax withholding as you're putting money in. So down at the bottom, I'm going to fast forward down to there. Money moving on, rollovers. So this was brought up in some of the questions. Rollovers, yes, you can roll money into 457 accounts. The caveat to that would be that Roth or the IRA, the Roth IRA, it's the individual retirement account. That Roth IRA has distribution rules that are very, well, it's very specific as to when you can pull money out and on those contributions. So Roth IRAs are out of the question. You're not able to roll those in. Required minimum distributions on pre-tax money in a 457, yes, you have to take the required minimum distribution. As of 2023, that age is at 73. And then on the Roth side, in a 457 account, you do have to take the required minimum distribution, but you are able to roll the money out to the Roth IRA. And at this point in time, the Roth IRA does not have the required minimum distribution. So there's a little tax caveat to that one as well. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple examples. These examples are, they're very basic examples. I believe there should be a third one. I'll get into that here in a second. But this example shows you an individual that's within the middle of their career cycle. And in the example, we're talking about contributing to a traditional IRA or a Roth, or a traditional 457 or a Roth 457. And in these examples, it really boils down to what tax bracket you're in at this point in time and where you could be later down the road. So for example, with this individual, Jeff, he's peak earning years at this point in time. He's at a 25% tax bracket. So for Jeff, the benefit is in retirement, he's projecting himself to be in the 15% tax bracket. Why pay the tax at 25 when you might be able to push it down the road and pay it at 15? That's what this example boils down to. If that's the case, overall within the account and the tax implications, he's much better off doing pre-tax contributions. Okay, now we're going to look at an example that's on the other side of the equation, the Roth example. So with this individual, Linda, she's starting out in her career. She's younger in age, 27. I assume that basically with starting out in her career that her salary is going to be lower at this point in time. That is why she's at a lower tax bracket. And then in the future in retirement, she might be pushing a much higher tax bracket. Based on this example, if all things stayed the same throughout her career, it would make a ton of sense for her to be putting money into a Roth because she's paying tax at a lower tax bracket. Now, the beauty of the 457 program is that you're able to start, let's say Linda starts the program, she's contributing, she puts money in initially into the Roth program, and then 4 years down or 5 years or 10 years down the line, Linda's making more money. She's increased, she's moved up a step increase or two. She's making more money. And now she's thinking, all right, I need to defer money. Through the 457 account, she can do that on the pre-tax side. So then she would have two buckets of money within her account being the Roth contributions and then the traditional contributions being pre-tax. So yeah, this is a very simplified view of this slide and using the Roth, but that example I just gave you where someone's starting out, making less money, and then in the future, adding in pre-tax because they're making more money is a good example of what I would call reality of over time making more money and utilizing the program a little bit better. Okay, let me turn those off. Okay, so to be successful with deferred compensation, a key to this is starting early. And I think in the prior presentation, this was a component of it. Starting early is key. This example shows somebody that they've been saving. They started at age 25 on the left. They're saving $25 a pay period. And at age 55, we're assuming a 6% growth rate per year. At age 55, they're at close to 55,000. And you can see the advantage of that 10 years of savings over somebody that started at age 35 or somebody even that started 20 years later at age 45. So keys to success with deferred comp are starting early, increasing your contributions, because when you start the program, just getting in the door, not worrying about so much how much you're contributing, but getting the program started, increasing those contributions plays in a lot as well. And that's what this slide shows. So this is we're expanding on the other example where in this one, rather than contributing $25 a pay period, an individual is contributing $100 a pay period. So at age 55, the prior slide, the individual who was doing 25 a pay period was at close to 55,000. By doing 100 a pay period, this individual is at close to 219,000. So a huge difference. Again, starting early, start with what you can afford to put in, increase those contributions as you get a step increase or the beginning of the year, put a little bit more money in. That's what helps to build your account balance and ultimately what helps to bridge that gap and create a nice account. Again, pay yourself first. This is a key component. So if we look at this diagram here, we have an individual on the left here, Carol. Carol's putting in $100 a month or 50 a pay period. Put a little circle around Carol there. So over 30 years, she's doing this monthly contribution of 50 a pay period. We're talking 6% growth. She's at $97,500. On the right-hand side, we have Connie. Connie's doing $160 per month or $80 a pay period, so slightly more, but you can see the huge difference where Connie has, over the same period of time, she's contributed an additional, doing some quick math, looks like $19,600, and her account value is more than, we're approaching 60,000 between the two, Carol and Connie. So those contributions over time clearly help to add up. Okay, how much can you save? If you're under age 50, 22,500. This is whether you're doing pre-tax, you're doing Roth, you're doing a combination of those. Over age 50, 30,000, again, pre-tax, Roth, or a combination. And then on the right-hand side, we have what's called the special catch-up provision. This one allows an individual to double their normal contribution, a maximum of $22,500. This is a very specific provision, and it's something that if you want to learn more about it, I encourage you to contact me or your other provider and learn about it. It allows you to put a lot of money into a 457 program, and those are really over time. This is a 3-year process to being able to use the special catch-up provision. So keep this in mind. It doesn't work for everyone, but it allows you to put a lot of money into your account. We're happy to help you understand it a little bit further and whether or not you qualify for this program as well. All right, so let's talk about 457 plans and the portability of 457 plans. When we talk about portability, we're talking about rollovers. So if you have a 457 program and you're contributing to it and you want to roll money in, yes, you're able to do that. Other 457 accounts, 401k, 403b. And I'm just going to take a moment here. When we start looking at all these different numbers, 457, 401k, 403b, we're talking tax codes. Now, 457 government agencies, 401k, that's the private sector. So if you worked at a Home Depot, you would have a 401k. 403b, we're getting into education. And all of these can be rolled in and vice versa. When you leave employment, you can roll out money. Now, again, that Roth IRA is one that you cannot roll into this account, but you can roll money out to it. Distributions, you can, once you leave employment, you can dictate how you want to take distributions. One of the nice things about the CalPERS program is that with distributions, you're not having to do paperwork and submit paperwork, because when you leave employment with the county within the CalPERS system, your employment status is noted. So with that employment status being updated to separated from service rather than active, that allows you to take withdrawals. You can do it directly from your website that you have access to with the program, and also through a call center. So you're not having to complete forms, send them back to the county to be signed off on to verify you've left employment. Also, with these programs, if you have the availability to purchase service credit through MSERA, you can use money in your 457 program to do that. Again, this is a coordination process between MSERA, your 457 provider, and we're happy to help you walk through that and help coordinate that if it's available for you. So that's something, again, that you would have to check on the MSERA side to see if that's available. So at the time you leave employment, two things change. You are not going to contribute to your account anymore, and you can begin to take money out. So when you leave employment with the county and if you decided, well, I don't want to do anything with the account, I just want it to sit there. Yes, you can do it. That's not a problem. You can leave it. With a 457 program, there's no early withdrawal penalties, meaning there's no 59.5 rule where there's an additional 10% penalty. That is on your contributions and any gains on the contribution. If you roll money in from, say, a 401k, that has the penalty attached to it. It follows it in to your account. So pre-tax contributions are taxed as ordinary income. When you take the withdrawal at the end of the year, you get a 1099 showing you've taken the withdrawal. From the Roth side, it's going back to those 3 milestone pieces where if you leave employment, you're over the age of 59.5 and you've had the account for 5 years. There's no tax on the gains. Distributions are flexible. So if you decided, all right, at some point in the future, you wanted to take a monthly withdrawal, you could do that. If you decided to turn that off, you were able to do that as well. At the same time, if you wanted to take the lump sum, you're able to do that. So these 457 programs are extremely flexible on how you want to use the money. That's a nice component.
Hey, David. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I just want to give you a 15-minute warning, and I also have a question here from Aaron.
Okay. You want to go ahead and share the question real quick?
Sure. Aaron is asking, are our pension contributions not factored into the total amount you can contribute in a year to a retirement plan?
Those are not. So this is simply your contributions to a 457 account. And based on your employment with the County of Mendocino, you qualify to participate in the program. So it's completely separate from the pension program. So let's talk about fees of the program. This is one huge, and I'll say that again, this is one huge benefit of the CalPERS program right here, are the fees. Since it's a state program, it doesn't matter where in the state you live and where you're working, which agency you're working for. If they allow contributions to the CalPERS program, everybody in the state pays the same fee. So you get the scales of economy working on your side. That's what you want. The fee in the CalPERS program is right here. This is what you pay, 0.26% to be in a target date fund. So for every $10,000 in your account, $26 per year. For every $1,000, it's $2.60 per year. The rule of thumb is with a retirement account, you want those fees to be less than 1%. That would be a rule of thumb right there. At 0.26, that's a great fee. Now, this example shows how fees work. Just to give you a quick backstory, 5 years ago when I came to CalPERS, the fee was 0.44. Now it's 0.26. So they've reduced the fees over the last 5 years. And in those reductions, just in that fee reduction, we're looking at somebody who, let's say they invested over 30 years, they've invested over 30 years. They started out with a whopping 50,000. So that would be nice if we could all do that. And they're contributing to their account. what we're looking at is these final numbers. Just based on the fee change within the program, somebody has $26,150 more because they're not paying a fee. Lower fees, more money in your account. That's the key. So keys to deferred comp: start early, contribution adjustments, and then we're going to get in. So start early, make those adjustments. As far as those contribution adjustments, if you get a raise, beginning of the year, and start. And again, this one talks about starting early as well. So based on time, I'm going to jump past this because ultimately we've learned probably from the prior presentation, this one, starting early has huge benefits, and take advantage of that. So another key is assessing your investment strategy. So when we talk about investment strategies, we're talking time horizon, risk management, so risk versus reward, and asset allocation. Now, when we talk asset allocation, this is your choosing funds and appropriating them amongst investment funds. So you have different categories: the large cap stocks, small cap stocks, international. These are all different investment categories that you can be in that overall create diversification, and that's a component of asset allocation. Now, within the CalPERS program, how do we do it on our side? To simplify everything, CalPERS has target date funds that are relative to your birth date and then a retirement date in the future. Now, with these funds, the younger you are, the more risk you take because you're looking at retirement years in the future. For those who are closer to retirement, the risk starts to be becoming reduced because you want to take less risk. CalPERS does this. It's managed for you. You're not choosing the investment option. Once you're in the program, you can choose the investment option. So a huge benefit there.
We talked about the target date funds. These are the individual funds within the program. And I'm going to dance ahead here. There's a self-managed account that opens the door up to a whole universe of investments out there. It's through Charles Schwab that you can link to your CalPERS account. Lots of investment choices. Happy to get you information on that as well. You have access to your account online. So the calculator online, I want to just show you this real quick. What makes this a little different is the calculator online, we're looking at how do you generate monthly income. So when you bridge the gap, a lot of people view it as, how do I do this on a monthly basis? And this calculator is great because this calculator allows somebody through retirement savings to load up their pension estimate. You can put in other accounts. If you have other retirement accounts, your 457 account, if you have it through CalPERS, is automatically loaded. But it looks at, in the future, what income level are you going to need to sustain your account and lifestyle? And then at the same point in time, are you meeting that goal? And in this quick example, it shows that whoever this person is, they're not meeting that goal. So it opens the door up to questions as far as, okay, if I'm not meeting my goal, how do I change things right now to help me get there? So powerful tool. It's available both on our website and the app. So I encourage people to use that. And yeah, that would be the app. How to enroll. Contact me directly. You can go to HR, but please contact me directly. I'll get you the information. I cover programs. I'm in the purple here. I cover agencies from really Santa Rosa up to Oregon and over to Redding, but I'm in Ukiah. Probably I travel through there at least once a month. So if you want to meet in person, I'm happy to do that. This CalPERS 457 timetap.com website, it's in the middle of the screen there. That one allows you to create a time on my calendar to speak. Happy to meet with you and talk to you over the phone or meet with you in person. The CalPERS457.com website has a ton of informational stuff as far as 457 programs. I encourage everyone to go there and look at that. Every Friday, there are webinars that we do, and I share these amongst my colleagues. So, for instance, this Friday, I believe is I think maybe we're already on the third Friday of the month, so it'd be exploring the Roth option. But every Friday, these are available for people to learn. They're about 45 minutes long, and you can attend them as you desire. Here is, again, my contact information. This QR reader takes you directly to a scheduling calendar. You can give me, you schedule a time, we can talk, walk through the program in detail, answer your questions. And with that, we are right on the doorstep of noontime.
We do have a few minutes available, and David is here to take any questions you may have. So please feel free to add the questions to the chat. David, thanks so much for being here today and presenting to us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Dan asked,
Interesting. Yeah.
the low fees are in CalPERS Voya are a big benefit. How would people calculate the benefit of low fees?
Well, if you're talking about calculating the benefit of low fees, I'm trying to read that question as, how do you calculate your own low fees, or within the program, or how you calculate that benefit and compare it to other programs? I would say, as far as calculating the benefit and comparing it to other programs, if you have, let's say, another account with well, let's use Empower, they're the other provider there. You can gain access to the fees in your account, and you can look at it and go, okay, based on the investment options I have, each mutual fund in their program will have their own fee, and you can multiply that fee by the dollar amount that you have in the mutual fund, and that will give you the fee that you are paying in the Empower program, and that's on a per year basis.
Right, because each investment option has its own fee, and you need to look at them individually to get
Correct.
the overall picture. We do have a second question, and this is, what is the difference between having a Roth savings account at a bank and a Roth with CalPERS?
Okay, so with a Roth savings at a bank, we're talking an IRA again. So with an IRA, that's an individual retirement account. The individual retirement account, really the universe is available to you as far as how you want to invest that. That's up to you. Fees are going to differ based on those investments. How much money you can put in is limited based on income limits as well. On this side, with the CalPERS 457, the Roth component, since you're employed at the county, it's available for you. Again, that income limit, $22,500, $30,000 if you're over age 50. The constraints would be you're using the investment options within the program to invest those Roth dollars.
Great. Again, my personal thanks to you, David. I appreciate your time today, and we hope to offer more of these in the future to our members. We hope you found this information useful and of value. We will be sending out a survey link to get your feedback on this, but we hope to have given you some things to think about and ways that you can plan and make a difference in your secure retirement in the future. Thanks so much and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.